Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Grace. If this is your first time here, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be highlighting some of the frequently asked questions beginners in UI UX design might have, and I'm going to be answering it because when I started out in UI UX design, I had some of these questions as well, and I looked online to find the answers to these, and I couldn't find concrete answers, so that's why I'm shooting this video today. The first question is, what's the difference between UI and UX? So as you may already know, UI stands for user interface and UX stands for user experience. User experience focuses on creating a seamless experience for users by conducting research and understanding their needs and also creating a product that solves that need. While UI focuses more on the visual part of that experience, so making it aesthetically pleasing for the end users to use. The most important thing to know is that UI and UX goes hand in hand, so you cannot divorce one from the other. Another question I hear very often is, can a non-technical person become a UI UX designer? You can literally switch from a non-design background or a non-tech background into UI UX design. UI UX design is a multidisciplinary field. What that basically means is that it takes into consideration art, sciences, and even social sciences in its work. All you need to do is to bring those skill set that you've learned previously, whether on your marketing job, in your sales job, in your communications job. Those soft skills will be the starting point for your UI UX design career. Another common question people ask me is, can I do UX design without knowing how to code? The answer is yes, you can. Knowledge of coding isn't compulsory, but that is an additional skill set that you can get eventually if you feel like you need it. So as a UI UX designer, you're focused on creating a design that serves the business needs and is also suitable for the end users. The implementation of that design is left on the desk of the developer. It's great for a UI UX designer to understand how code works because they'll be working hand in hand with the engineering team. However, it is not a requisite to become a product or UI UX designer. Can I become a UI UX designer even if I cannot draw? Yes, you can. If you're able to speak to your ideas, then you are fine. You might not be able to draw legibly, but then wireframing doesn't necessarily need you to be able to draw the actual item on the screen, but then just put representations of what they are. So circles, X's, boxes, that's literally all you need in terms of like your artistic skill to pivot into product design. Another very common question people ask is, do I need a degree to become a UI UX designer? I'm going to break this question into two subcategories. One, do I need a HCI, that's human computer interaction degree, to become a UI UX designer? And two, do I need any degree whatsoever to become a UI UX designer? You do not need a HCI degree. Whatever industry you're pivoting from or whatever background you have is relevant. UI UX design is a multidisciplinary field, so it basically means that whether you studied science or you have an arts background or whatever background is useful within UI UX design, because you are creating products for different fields and your expertise in those fields will be relevant if you're working within the same industry as a UI UX designer. In addition to all these questions, another question I hear people ask me is, what skills do I need to become a UI UX designer? The soft skills that you need to become a product designer or a UI UX designer are things that you use currently in your day-to-day. For example, empathy. Empathy is one of the greatest skills of a UI UX designer because you're able to put yourself in the shoes of the users to understand their pain points and then solve for it. Are you inquisitive? If you are, then that's a great trait a UI UX designer has, because you should be able to ask questions, understand some of these pain points a bit better, dig deeper. Don't just take the answers users give you at surface level, but you're able to ask more questions to understand or prompt them to speak even further. So research, are you able to talk to people to understand their pain points? And then how do you then translate that pain point that the user has highlighted into your solutions or the proposed solutions that you present to the team? Are you able to then speak to the team and defend your ideas to say, okay, what I have designed would solve a need for the end users and profit the business? Those are some of the skills a UI UX designer will need to have. They should be able to empathize with people, solve problems, creativity, negotiation within the team, communication, and collaboration. Yeah. A day in your life as a UI UX designer look like? So I'm gonna put this disclaimer out there before I start. For every designer, it looks different, and for every day, it might be different. But a typical day in my life as a UI UX designer will begin with, of course, at the start of the day, I go through my emails to see some of the update that I have gotten from the team based on the work that I'm currently doing. And then if I do not have anything concrete, I go back to the designs that I'm currently working on. Depending on the stage of the process that I am in, typically it could be going through Figma to document some of my ideas. It could be me having user interviews with end users to understand their pinpoint for the product or the feature we're trying to release, or even if it's a feature that's already released we're trying to improve on, then speaking to them to understand how we might do that in a way that solves their problem, and then taking those designs to the team to say, okay, this is what I have. So it could be a smaller group of designers and PMs, and it could be a bigger group that includes multiple designers from different teams, and also managerial level staff members, because depending on how big that project is, you might need to take it higher up to get approval. On some days, I'll need to go to design system to understand, okay, this particular component that I'm using, am I using it correctly? In this case, is there a better component that I should use instead of this? Sometimes I need to go to UXW, UX writing. This copy that I'm using, is there a better way to improve it? These are some of the things that we want to touch on in this, through this copy, we want to communicate. So the value proposition, for example, how is the best way to put this within the constraints. So for example, if we have a space constraint or a number of character constraint, then I tell them, and then they're able to give me feedback that helps me move forward. Another question that I get very often is, can I learn UI UX design on my own? If you watch some of my previous video, which I'll link here, the answer is yes, you can learn UI UX design on your own, because you have a lot of resources online currently where you can sift through them and then find a relevant resource to learn UI UX design. So you have YouTube videos, you have Udemy courses, so you do not need to go to like a boot camp to learn UI UX design. My personal opinion is that when you go through a structured program like a boot camp or an online course, they have streamlined what you need to learn. That way you're learning skills that are relevant currently, and you're not bombarding yourself with a pile of information that isn't relevant. Guys, I put in a lot of effort to make sure that this video is relevant to you. So if you feel like you've gotten value from this video, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and also give this video a thumbs up, and tell someone about this channel that you feel will find it useful. Also, I would like to get your feedback, know how you feel about my content, and if there's a particular topic that you would like me to talk about or something you would like me to do better, please leave it in the comment section below, or even send me an email. My email is linked there, so that I can improve on it and create videos that are much more relevant to you. Until I come to you next time, have a lovely rest of the day. Bye-bye.